parents, you're no longer living at home, and you don't ever pay any attention to your parents, you don't go see them, you don't call them, you don't ever do anything for them, then you need to really think over what God says about how to treat your parents. And it's not a good enough excuse to say, well, my parents didn't treat me right. Mine abused me, and the time came when God said, I want you to take care of them and take care of them well until they die. And it cost a lot of money, and it cost a lot of time, and it wasn't something that I wanted to do. That you get this part. If your parents were dishonorable, you may not have all the gooey feelings toward them that you would like to have, but love is not about how we feel, it's about what we decide to do as far as how we treat people. If you do what's right, because it's right, and because you want to honor God, now listen to me, God will always take care of you. He will always take care of you. We don't get to be good to people because they're good people. We're going to look at Matthew 5:44 through 47 for a second. We'll put it up on the screens for you. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, to show that you are the children of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the wicked and on the good, and he makes the rain fall upon the upright and the wrongdoers. For if you love those who love you, what reward can you have? Do not even the tax collectors do that? And if you greet your brethren, what more than others are you doing? Do not even the Gentiles. Okay, verse 6. A commentary that I read on Ephesians. He said, you'll notice how these verses talk about submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. This is a principle of Christian living which applies to believers in every relationship of life. And now that the Apostle Paul turns to consider the Christian family, he shows that it even needs to apply there. Now listen to this. Did you ever stop to think what a wonderful institution the Christian family is? In reading a letter from a missionary who was working in a heathen land, I was struck by this paragraph that he wrote. This missionary wrote this letter. How we wish that some of our Christian people could come and settle down among us, even if not to engage in missionary work. There are different ways by which one may make his living among these semi-civilized people. For instance, we would like to have a Christian dentist and his wife, or a Christian worker in leather, a shoemaker, a harness maker, and his wife and family. Now listen, it would mean a great deal to us to have a harmonious family here, for we can conceive of nothing that could so commend Christianity to our people as just to see a Christian family functioning according to the New Testament. He's saying that there is no better testimony to the world of Christianity than to just witness a Christian family, moms, dads, children, husbands, wives, working together in society and behaving themselves as Christians. Isn't that amazing? You know what the bottom line is? We're having fun today. Back, and he planned to restore that man's authority. You see, when Adam and Eve sinned, they gave their authority to the devil. The authority that God had given them to rule and reign and have dominion over the earth, they gave that to Satan. And that can be proven if you look at Luke chapter 4, verse 6, when Jesus was in the wilderness being tempted of the devil 40 days and 40 nights. One of the temptations was the devil said, you bow down to me just this once and I'll give you all this and all this power because it has been turned over to me and I can give it to whoever I want to. But see, he didn't know as much as he thought he knew because he was talking to Jesus who actually, the Bible says, for this purpose was the Son of God manifest to destroy the works of the wicked one. So he was actually talking to the one that was going to destroy him. God always works through people. Get that in your head. God always works through people. If you ask God for a miracle, he may show you something you need to do. Yeah, oh, my word is right. That has become very big to me in the last year as far as teaching. It's just like we are partners with God. He works through people. God can do anything he wants to, and I'm not saying that he never works sovereignly apart from people, but all you got to do is look at history. He worked through Abraham, Moses, Joseph, Esther, Ruth, Daniel. He found Abraham, and he made a covenant of faith with Abraham. And well, let's look at it. Genesis 12, 1 through 3. Now in Haran, the Lord said to Abram, go for yourself for your own advantage, away from your country, from your relatives, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you with an abundant increase of favor, and I will make your name famous and distinguished, and you will be a blessing, dispensing good to others. And I will bless those who bless you, who confer prosperity or happiness upon you, and I will curse him who curses you or uses insolent language toward you. And in you will all the families of the earth be blessed, and by you they will bless themselves. Well, that sounds to me like a pretty good reward for just walking away from a bunch of stuff. And what you may not know is that Abram's family were all idol worshipers. So God had to get him away from that. Okay, so now listen to me. Here's a man who walks away from everything in order to have the will of God